everyone, my name's Katie and I'm the interim director curator here at the Clark Museum. So today we're going to take a sneak peek look at our exciting project that's been going on for a couple months, and that's restoring our original historic lighting here at the museum. So you might have heard that we're in the process of tracking down our original chandeliers, and one of our museum volunteers and board members, Chuck, has restored one of the chandeliers already, and it's on display here at the museum. Since we've been closed to the public, no one's really been able to see it, but once we reopen, it's on public view, so you can come by and take a look for yourself. But today, we're going to take a close sneak peek look at the chandelier. So let's take a look. All right, so here's the chandelier, kind of full-face view of it. So you might be wondering why there's this big old steel beam thing. So that is not actually going to be hanging from the ceiling with the chandelier. That's just to help us kind of display it. You'll notice there's a really long chain. These things are, someone told me about 8 feet, but they might be a little taller than that. And they weigh about 400 or 500 pounds. And they're all bronze. Pretty spectacular. There were originally 6 of these in the building, and when Cecile purchased the building in 1960, she took them out and they moved all around town. They ended up at a time at a church. They ended up at the Old Town Bar and Grill where Siren Song Tavern is now. They ended up at a bank at the mall. They ended up back at the Old Town Bar and Grill. They were damaged by an earthquake and then they went into storage. And then we tracked them down just about a year ago. And they've been in restoration process ever since. So let's take a look at the chandelier up close. So right now it looks a little funky because it doesn't have the glass covers on it, but when it is fully functional, hanging on the ceiling, all lit up and everything, there's going to be a glass cover on this top part and all of these little bottom parts, and then I believe one on the bottom. And they're all bronze. The structure is bronze, the covers are glass. Let's take a look. So I was kind of wondering about what the deal is with some of the details on the chandeliers. It all coordinates with our building, which has kind of Grecian and Roman influences. That was popular at the time. So you'll notice these are kind of like leaf-looking things with some berries. It's got this, I believe it's called egg and dart detail that shows up in our ceiling. And I'll kind of point that out. Also, when we take another zoomed out look at the chandelier, we'll take a look at the ceiling too, and I'll kind of point out some of these designs. I've heard this called an acorn. I'm not 100% sure if that's what it's actually called, but that's kind of what I've heard. Looks kind of like an artichoke to me, but I am not an expert on architecture from this period or architecture in general. So you can see these are where the lights are going to go, right there. And when these are all hung up, they're wired to present day standards, so they're nice and safe. They're going to be hung from a steel beam in the ceiling. Let's take a look over here. So they're going to be nice and secure. They're going to be wired with LED lights, so they're going to be nice and energy efficient as well. And I believe they're going to be dimmable. Don't quote me on that, though. I'm really looking forward to seeing these things hung back up. I'm very much a fan of historic lighting. It looks great. Here's another one of those acorn features. So a fun thing about these chandeliers is that when they traveled around and they were damaged and they were stored and they were almost sold for scrap, they lost some pieces in the process. So we had to take the pieces of the chandelier that needed to be reproduced. We took them to a guy named Elliot at North Bay 3D Printing and Design in Santa Rosa, and he scanned or sometimes drafted from scratch the pieces that were missing that needed to be recast. So with that, he 3D printed them, and on some of them, like this one, with this detail work on here. He actually had to redo that on the plastic molds with wax and hand do that. So he created these 3D plastic models, and then they were turned into casts, and then the bronze was, or they were turned into molds, then they were cast in bronze, and then shined up and sent back to us. So I'm not sure on this chandelier if there are reproduction pieces or if this is all original. I'd have to double check on that. But it's really a gorgeous fixture, and I'm really looking forward to seeing them back up on the ceiling. And just so you don't get dizzy, I'm gonna go and take a look at the ceiling. So zoom. All right, so when we're looking at the ceiling here, see that black circle? That's where one of the chandeliers is gonna hang. There's where another one's gonna hang, way over there. And then way over there, and over there. So originally when there were 6, there was also one on kind of the center part. One there, and one somewhere around there. And so it ties in with the architecture of the building. Let's take a look over here. So this is all freshly restored. This is what the interior of the building originally looked like, and it's our goal to restore the rest of the interior and maintain the historical integrity of our building. So when you take a look here, let me see if I can point that out. There we go. So these are called, this is an egg and dart detail. You'll remember we saw that on part of the light fixture. Sorry, it's kind of shaky. So when they did the lighting, they wanted to coordinate with the rest of the building, which is probably why they included some of those little accents. Check out that ceiling. So you'll notice there's some kind of white patches there. So there wasn't originally, there was a fluorescent light there. That got taken down. And that's all gonna get fixed up when the ceiling gets restored, if not before then. So anyway, let's take a little walk back over the chandelier. So here's kind of a last zoomed in look, or not zoomed in, stand back look. And there, yeah, we're gonna take a look real quick. There's some of that egg and dart up top. There we go. Yeah. So I hope you guys are excited about this chandelier as I am. I'm looking forward to seeing the rest of them being rewired and this project getting a roll. So keep an eye out for a special opening event, hopefully when all of the coronavirus thing mellows down and people are feeling safe again. We hope to see you at the Clark. Thanks for tuning in.